So here I'm going to illustrate how the plus sign behaves differently with different data types. First, let's take a look over here and see this variable. It says age equals 55. But notice the 55 is in double quotes. So anything in double quotes is seen as text. Even if it's all numbers, it's not going to treat it like 55 the number, it's going to treat it like 55, just some text in a string that's happens to be 55. And then I have another string variable here called X factor, and I've given that 10, also in double quotes. So 55, age, and X factor are strings, string text, not true numbers. So if I come here and I try to add them together, that's what it looks like. I use the plus sign, age plus X factor. I might be thinking, oh, I'm going to add 10 to 55 and get 65. But it's not going to behave that way because Python sees these things in quotes, these double quotes, as text, not as a number. So when we have a plus sign between two bits of strings or two bits of text, it appends things together. So here we're going to print after the new age print, your real age is, and then I append to it new age, what the value that's in the variable of new age. So let's see this run. I click on that, run mode, and it says your real age is 5510. I don't think that's what we intended. If I wanted to get numbers to do an addition, not an appending, it appended 10 to 55, literally. And let's go ahead and repair this. And we'll go over here and I'll take the double quotes off. So I'm going to take them off here, do that, and take that off. And now 55 without quotes is a number 55, and X factor without quotes is a true number of 10. So I'll save that, and then I'll go ahead and run it. And now we get, okay, now we get an error. Why did we get an error? This is important. I believe I show this in the book as well. So what happened here is we got down to the print statement, and we had a problem because we're trying to mix a number with a, a string, a bit of text, and you can't do that. You can't add a number to text. So I'll show you what I mean here. First of all, let's look at the error message itself. Always, when you see these traceback errors, they're kind of confusing. So much is going on. So always start on the bottom line and move up. That's the way to read these things. So here it says type error can only concatenate a string. Remember, str is short for string, not an int, to a string. So it basically thinks I'm trying to take an integer and I'm trying to concatenate, which is a fancy way of saying append to a string, and it says no, you can't do that. Then it shows the offending line here, print your real age is plus new age. Well, your real age is in double quotes, so that means it's text string, but new age is now a number because we changed everything to numbers up here. So we're trying to take a number, an integer, and append it to a string, and it says forget it, we're not going to do that. And it even points to the line number here, line 10. If you're in idle, let me take this down for a second. One of the options is show line numbers. So 10 points to that print statement as well. So that can help you out. Okay, so what do we do about this? We're saying, okay, well, I wanted this to be a number. I wanted it to do addition correctly, but now I want to see it. So here's one of your first little helper functions. If you have an integer, if you have a variable that has a true number, a true integer in it, and you want it to display as a string, you put it inside a string function. That's just spelled shortcut str. And so here we have string. It says take this integer and convert it into a string. So it converts it and converts it in place. So it doesn't change what's in new age. It just changes what is resolved and displayed here as a part of this print statement. So now it sees it's going to take this string and append it to this string and should do the print. So let's go ahead and run that and see what happens. I think I saved it. So I'm going to do Control S and save it. Run module. And let me pull that up. It's keeping the errors from before. This is the run we just did, the one on the bottom. It says your real age is 65. So that's correct. That's what I wanted. Okay, so let's go close that. Now, just to walk through this again really quickly, we assigned 55 a number, an integer, to age, 10 a number to X factor. We added them. Now the plus sign recognizes that this is an integer and this is an integer. So it worked. It even worked before. And it put it in new age, which it made it 65. We had the problem before because we didn't wrap new age inside of a string function to convert that number to be a string so we could put the two strings together. String is kind of a funny word. I'm used to it, but it's a string. It's a bit of text. That's all. And as you've seen, it could be anything. It could be just numbers. It could be a mixture of letters and numbers and what have you. All right, so we'll end with that before moving on.